Hey everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to my channel, The Corporate Socialite Budgets. In this video, I'll be budgeting the second paycheck of November. So this paycheck is about $100 less than it usually is because I went ahead and contributed to the max match for my job's 401k contribution. So that shaved off about $100 this paycheck. So I've decided what I'm going to do is to contribute to my monthly rollover and kind of skip this week's contribution to the emergency fund. But I think it should be fine because I have really exciting news that I was kind of working through the past couple of weeks, and I finally got like some answers back. So I recently got a promotion or a new job at work, so I will have about a $11,000 raise. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I start officially the new role on the 6th of December, so in about 2 weeks. So I'm thinking that the next paycheck will probably look similar to this one, and I won't see the newer like promotion or raise until like Christmas's paycheck, which is fine. But I did want to give that update, so I'm really excited about that. I had been keeping it under wraps until it came true, so I'm really happy that it did. And right now I'm also in South Carolina, so I'm with my family now. And let me tell you, traveling is super expensive, and I should have actually budgeted a little bit more toward traveling because for one, I had to do airport parking on my way to Florida from the airport, and that's about $72. So I don't have to pay that until I get back in, but I definitely need to make sure I budget for that. And also we traveled to South Carolina for Thanksgiving to visit family. So that road trip in itself, luckily I didn't have to pay too much as far as gas goes, but of course just the like the road trip snacks and different things that I hadn't accounted for all kind of added up. So there are not too many categories, but there are a couple of categories that I do need to kind of cover. And I'm trying to do better at covering overspends from my budget, but the only thing is sometimes when I do that, I forget how much I need to put back into that specific category that I took money from. Even though recent moves is there, but it is kind of tough to recall, especially after you've made a couple of moves. Okay, so let me just go ahead and check to see where I have any overspends at. And okay, so I have made some purchases using Klarna. So it is, well, now that I live in a state that gets cold, I had to buy some winter coats, and I should have been budgeting for that probably earlier this year, probably in February or January, just so I can be able to afford them when the winter season did come around. And I wasn't as prepared as I should have been just because I was in Florida during January and February and really wasn't thinking about needing winter gear. So I did purchase some while there were some early Black Friday deals. So I did do those purchases through Klarna and I believe QuadPay, but I think that was kind of a necessary purchase, so I'm not gonna sweat it too much. All right, I think that should cover everything. I'm gonna just double check, but I don't think there's anything else that's overspent. Okay, I'm good. All right, so we can actually move toward the budget with me portion of the video. So I would like to tap into my credit card pay down status. So I have used my credit card slightly this traveling season on different things. Like I had to pay for luggage and just small things that I made purchases on my credit card through. But as you guys seen here, I've covered most of those, but I did account for what I spent and when I did the math here. Okay, so the credit card pay down status is now 70% for Fifth Third credit card, 34% paid down for Capital One, and 6% paid down for Discover. So I think Discover went down slightly, and Capital One will probably be a little bit higher, but I do have plans to go ahead and repay myself back from that spend there. So I think I should be okay here. I'll be budgeting from November 26th to December 10th. Okay, so before I start that, I do want to add money to my monthly rollover. I'm not going to do the spend wheel this time around, just because I'm not going to currently contribute to the emergency fund until I start to receive that like the raise from the new role. So the next 2 paychecks, I'll just be adding a set amount to monthly rollover. Or maybe next week I'll do emergency fund and this week monthly rollover. So we'll just kind of play with it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just add $50 to monthly rollover. Okay, that should be fine. And let's start with credit cards. So I'm going to add $30 to Discover. Actually Capital One is good. And then I already moved money from Ashley Furniture's minimum payment last paycheck to Fifth Third's. So now Fifth Third's is actually due. So I'm going to add 30 to this one as well. Okay. And I said the 26th to the 10th. All right. So I'll come back to sinking funds. And then let's see, rent is due. So the remainder of rent is, I believe, $600. Yeah, okay, that's good. And then car note, auto insurance, all of these are good. And Spectrum Internet, I'll do 54 there. And then gas, I will probably end up doing 20, just because I will be in Florida. Well, I'll be like away from my car for the next 2 weeks or so. So by the time I get there, I probably won't even need to add that much gas. You know what? I'm probably going to just change this number to 15. I think that should be more than enough. And let's see here. I'm going to move this to the monthly rollover as well. The remainder from the car note. And then also I'm going to move this to monthly rollover, the remainder from the auto insurance. All right, so these are covered. Oh, and then baddie on the bus. So this new role is no longer as flexible as far as being in office or being at home. So this team now works every day in office from Monday to Thursday, and now just Friday remote. So before, I had a lot more flexibility and I was able to work at home if I felt like it, or go into the office if I felt like it. So I kind of would go in maybe 2 times a week, and then sometimes even 1 once it started to get colder. So now I have to kind of struggle through the code and even consider a parking pass. So I'm going to just see what happens now. But as of now, I'm not adding anything to baddie on the bus because I should be okay, I think. We'll see. All right, so it's at the 26th to the 10th. So that includes, so that just includes LA Fitness. So I'll just pay that or pay toward that. That should be good. And I need to start saving some money toward a gift I'm sending out during Christmas to some of my sorority sisters. And I think I have to send out about 12 envelopes with a little some little goodies in the inside that I had initially planned to do earlier this year, but I just never got around to it. So I just decided to make it a Christmas gift. So I'm going to just come back to this category probably around the time that I do sinking funds and just kind of throw what I can into there. So groceries, I probably won't need to add as much as I would to grocery. You know what? I'm going to do jet setting first because I know I'm going to have that steep parking. and I can't believe it's $72. So typically I would do airport parking just because it's convenient. I know that I can park my car. There's a free shuttle that will take me right to the airport, and then when I get off the plane coming back, there's a shuttle that will take me right back to my car. But this time around, I decided I was going to Uber, but my flight was so early in the morning that there were not as many Ubers out. So initially it was like $25 when I first looked, and then once I kind of gathered everything and just got everything situated to leave the house, it shot up to $55. I'm like, well, if it's going to be $55 to go there, and then if I have to get an Uber back, given I can't find someone to pick me up from the airport, then that's going to probably come out to the same price as airport parking. So that's the route I decided to take. So in the future, I probably won't book such an early flight just so there are enough Ubers out where the price hasn't shot up so much. But I guess that's just how the cookie crumbled this time. Okay, so I'm going to only add $30 to grocery. So I mentioned in my cash stuffing video that HelloFresh decided, well, actually the package got messed up in the mail through FedEx. So they sent me a message saying that they weren't going to be able to deliver the package for that week's worth of grocery. And I don't know if you guys remember, but last week I was kind of sick and down and out. So I just decided to be okay with the HelloFresh delivery because I missed it. And then of course it didn't even come. So I requested a refund. So they refunded the money, and they still ended up sending a new package out, which worked out well. But of course the package came on Friday and my flight to leave was on Sunday. So there was no way I was going to prepare all those meals and eat them in 2 days. So I just decided to kind of keep different things in the freezer. So there's 2 meals left. So I think those will kind of allow me to get through that week that I'm home before I get paid again. And so that's kind of how it worked out. So $30 to grocery, that should be fine. And then I'm going to do $70 to fund money. And then food on the run, that might be tough, but I think I'll just do 25 here. So I'm going to come back to the Klarnas because what I would like to do is just allow Uber to cover those payments, and I'll be home in enough time to be able to at least do a weekend of Ubers, and that should bring me in about $200 at minimum. So that can kind of pay some of the Klarnas down. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. But let's see here. Not going to worry about apartment wish list, dining out. I do have an event to go to when I get back to Florida. My boyfriend's uncle got married, so they're having like a dinner or something like that I'm planning to go to. So I'm going to just add, I'm going to do 40 there. I think that should be okay. I'm not going to add anything to bars. I may want to add 10 to beauty supplies. That'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to come back to sinking funds, and I'm going to just add 10 to birthday. Actually, let me make sure I'm not missing anything, because $225 is a decent amount to play with, but I don't want to, you know what? Am I missing this? It's at the 26th to the 10th. So I think I'm not missing that. That's okay. I think I should at least add 10 to parking. All right, well, I guess I'm actually good. So I'm going to come back to sinking funds, and I'll add 10 to the baby shower. So I've decided, as far as movers go, I probably may still keep this sinking fund going, but I have decided that I may need to stay in my less luxury, less modern apartment for at least another year, because, you know, I started to try to do the math of, you know, the pay of this new role, and I'm really thinking that once I, you know, change apartments and start paying a lot more than I am paying now, because I know my last place was a studio and I was paying close to $1,200 for a much smaller place. And of course I wanted to move to a 1-bedroom, which was, you know, the biggest thing about me moving, and also wanted to make sure it was affordable, or at least in that same ballpark. So now I pay $750, which is far less than what I was paying for a studio. And of course I would want to move to a 1-1 luxury style apartment, and that's heavy on the air quotes on luxury. But you know, once I did the math, as far as the cost of apartments that are 1-bedroom and considered modern or luxury, it is in like the $1,400 to $1,500 ballpark. So that's about $700 more than what I'm paying now. And at that point, I really feel like whatever I do make from the new pay is going to really balance itself out. And I honestly just don't think it's worth it. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to keep this sinking fund here. And of course, as time goes by, I can kind of decide if I want to just change the name of this sinking fund to something else that might be more beneficial, or something. But I just don't think that it will be ideal for me as far as financially to move to an apartment that costs $700 more than what I'm paying, just because, you know, I can technically afford it a little bit more. I mean, I would like to at least use the money that I'm making to kind of help me pay down different things and make smarter moves. So what I'm going to do is just add $5 here till I really decide what it is that I'm going to use this sinking fund for. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I think I want to add $50 to Christmas gifts, because I really need to get a jump start on that. And with Cyber Monday and Black Friday coming up, I still don't think $130 is enough, but we'll make it work. And I'm going to add $25 to clothing. All right, so I'm going to go back down to the Delta and add money to that for Christmas. So I think I'm going to just add 25 here. Okay, I think I want to add an additional 15. Yeah, that should take me to 150. This is kind of tough because I know I'm out of town and I need to make sure that, you know what, I'm going to add the 85 to Klarna. That might be the smartest decision. And of course, if I need it, I can kind of just dip into it, because I know I will make the payments back. Okay, so I'm going to do 85. I'm going to just put the rest into Klarna, even though I'm sure I wouldn't need that much. Yeah, I think it's only $40 that I would need, but I'm going to just keep it there for now. Because, I mean, there could be unexpected things that I might need to worry about. Traveling that I hadn't, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to actually take 40 of the dollars out. 45 actually, because I only think I need 40 over here. And I'm going to put the rest into holiday travel for Christmas time, because I know that I'm going to need it coming back. So jet setting, I'm going to just put the 45 here. Okay, that should be okay, because I haven't even bought the ticket going back to Florida for Christmas. So that should cover it. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope everyone has a very festive and happy holiday. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye, guys.